With this sword, we're going to time travel to a day in August 1862, which would have been the second year of Bunkyo in Japan. And we're going to travel to a region north of Edo. We're going to Hitachi Province, to Mito. This is current day Ibaraki Prefecture. The reason we're going there, to that place at that time, which was the Bakumatsu period, is to examine the work of an important swordsmith who emerged from Mito. And this is this famous smith, Mito Sukemitsu. Actually, Sukemitsu was born in Edo in 1820, and he began studying swordsmithing following the Yokoyama school tradition. Actually, he was given Yokoyama as a family name, but in 1849, he was recommended to become an official swordsmith for the Mito clan, and his sponsor basically was Katsumura Norikatsu, also known as Tokukatsu, a very famous swordsmith in his own right, but also a Mito clan official. So, let's see what he produced. We're going to follow this sword. You can see that from the Kisaki down, you could have seen the Midare Komaru turn in the Boshi, and then we're looking at the temper line. You'll follow a Gunomi Choji Midare Hamon, and it's full of Nie Suji. And then at the same time, if you look into the Jihada, you're going to see Koitame Nagare with Jinie, and you'll also find lots of Chike. So, the overall length of this sword, which you now realize is quite long, is 74.4 centimeters, which comes in at 29.3 inches. It has 1.8 centimeters of sori, or 0.7 of an inch, and it's quite deep. The motohaba is 3.1 centimeters, or 1.2 inches. So you're looking at a very sizable sword, which was sort of the practice in the Shinto period. Now there are reasons for this, and we will get to those reasons shortly. This sword is recognized with the Tokubetsu Hozon certificate. So that means it has, significance from an artistic and technical perspective, as well as condition being very good, which one would expect from a Shinto blade. So again, we're following the blade back on the opposite side, and again, the same features appear. It's a very, very attractive looking sword with, visually dynamic hamon and hataraki. It's a pleasure to look at such a work of art. So in order to understand this creation based on its dimensions, we have to consider the climate of the times, or the zeitgeist, and what was happening in that area, in the Mito Han area of Japan at that time. So around this time, many things were happening, and Japan previously had undergone a relatively peaceful time frame during early Edo through mid-Edo, and things were stable. The economics were stable, and the government was powerful under the Tokugawa shogunates. And as a result, samurai were less active, and sword production actually had dropped somewhat. And basically, samurai carried their swords as symbol of social status. And, this is very different from the Sengoku period, which was, included the Warring States period. So we had a period of calm. And then, towards the end of the Edo period, many things started to happen. There were different dynamics. There was pressure from foreign countries for Japan to open its borders. Samurai started to, get a sense of the turmoil that was coming, and larger swords, stronger looking swords, were being ordered. And basically, these were to be practical swords to handle any potential conflicts. And Sukemitsu was involved in these efforts. And, it seems his intention was to provide swords that would deal with the demands of the time. So, this did come to fruition because basically the Edo period terminated and the Meiji Restoration began. But this was a period of intense conflict because the forces of the Tokugawa shogunate were pitted against different groups to install the emperor back in power. So this complicated the situation for the Mito clan because a large percentage of Mito samurai were imperial loyalists and as a result supported the emperor. And they fought under the slogan or the party of Sono Joy. Sono Joy, if you're following Japanese history, basically meant restore the emperor and expel the barbarians. And these forces actually, fought against the Tokugawa forces, and eventually the emperor was basically reinstalled and the Meiji period began. So Mito Sukemitsu actually forged swords to the benefit of the Mito Sono Joy faction. So it's possible that this particular blade was at one point carried by one such Sono Joy supporter. And as a result, it's a testament to not only a beautiful sword art creation, but a very dynamic period in history, which was actually a turning point for the samurai because not long afterwards, the Hattori went into effect and samurai were disenfranchised from their blades. So from that perspective, examining and studying the art value, but also the historical milieu of the situation of the times, these things go hand in hand. And that's why, this is a high quality, very large and robust sword.